I've been seeing a lot of discussion on this app about the acronym ACAB and how it stands for All Cops Are Bad. But no. All cops are bastards. It would be too simple to say that all cops are bad. And it's usually with this misinterpretation that the argument arises that, oh, not all cops are bad. Oh, yeah. Obviously, not all cops are bad. But they are all bastards. At first glance, you're probably thinking that we mean bastard by an unpleasant or despicable person. But that's not what we're saying. At least that's not what I'm saying. When I say bastard, I'm taking it from the word bastardize, meaning to corrupt or debase. Cops are inherently corrupted in two ways. The first is that they are corrupted by their positions of power, that they can use their authority to inflict violence on people. The second and the most important reason on why all cops are bastards is because the very laws that they are trying to enforce are corrupt and are used to subdue different minorities and identities. So, cops can be corrupted by their power. Cops are corrupted by the laws they enforce. All cops are corrupted. All cops are bastards.
What if I told you that I was being blackmailed by an ex-boyfriend who had explicit photos of me? What if I told you that I went to the police about it? What if I told you that the police saved those explicit photos to their personal phone and then showed them to multiple different co-workers? None of the other co-workers who were also police officers stepped forward when they were shown the photos. In fact, the man that saved those images was never reprimanded. He quit the police force and was hired by another one. I was then murdered by the ex-boyfriend. I went to the police and asked them to save my life, but they did nothing. In fact, I'd say they did worse than nothing because they saved those photos and shared them around. They also did nothing to stop me from being murdered. Except this isn't my story, this is the story of Lauren McCluskey. This is why people say all cops are bastards. This is why women don't go to the police when they're being stalked or when they've been raped. He has since been rehired. His name was Miguel Jerez. He will face no consequences.
Please hear me out for a quick second, okay? I worked 4 years in journalism. The media is not your friend in this whole situation. Specifically about the situation about George Floyd right now. See, in the news, they make their money off ratings, and the way they do is they like to make it and they love war, because war always is on TV, you want to watch it, and times of distress. And racial tension is also a good money maker. Because think about how much you've been watching the news and how many articles you've been reading and how much things you've been paying attention to get more information about the situation. And they're using the death of an innocent man, George Floyd, to promote it because of racial baiting. And if you cause more division, you cause more chaos, and you cause more war, and you cause more chaos. Because isn't it a little bit suspicious how this happened right after Joe Biden just said if you don't vote for him, you're not black? And the mainstream media didn't even cover that either. Also, when the country's opening back up again, we're now causing riots and burning buildings down, and Trump's calling the National Guard while we are already in quarantine. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I've seen some stuff when I worked in politics. The news is no longer here to inform you. It's here to use your emotions to make profit off ratings, especially during an election year.
So to people that say white privilege does not exist, there was a morning where my boyfriend was taking me to work at like 4 in the morning for one of my barista shifts. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. And he made a left at a red light because I was running a little bit late and there was no one around. It was like 4 in the morning, like I said, so the streets were completely empty. You could see for blocks down, there was nobody there, but he made a left and there was a cop that was sitting in an alleyway that saw that. And so that cop pulled us over. My boyfriend, being this Caucasian male over here, who was the driver at the time, got pulled over, and instead of going over to his side, they went over to my side and they said, "Are you on parole?" Me? The passenger? That has nothing to do with this? Why are you asking me? And I calmly explained, no, I'm actually on my way to work. And I said, can I go? And they did not let me leave. And if you think my face tattoos are the reason, you know what really sucks? Knowing that you were really polite to somebody and they have these preconceived notions about you. Mind you, I didn't have any facial tattoos at the time. I didn't drive in the situation, so I didn't make the illegal left turn. But they asked me if I was on parole because I'm black. And people want to say, well, why weren't you just polite? Why didn't you just answer the question when they asked you if you were on parole? I did. I very politely said, hey, I'm such and such. I work down the street at X, Y, and Z coffee shop. I open at 4 in the morning. I'm running a few minutes late. If you could maybe escort me or let me, just walk down the street to work, I would really appreciate it because I don't want to be late. And they detained me despite having no actual reason. That's racism. They asked my boyfriend, my white boyfriend, how his day was going. And they were very sweet and very polite. And to me, they asked me if I was on parole. They were extremely rude and they kept me from going to work. What?
Imagine if hospitals started saying, yeah, most of our surgeons are pretty well educated. It's only a few that will kill you on the operating table. And then American Airlines just came out of nowhere and said, Yeah, most of our pilots like to land. It's only like a few that will crash onto the runway and kill everybody on board. You know, like, it doesn't make sense because everybody in that job industry has to be good because people's lives are at stake. You can't afford to have a few that are not good. That is the same thing with police, cops, and law enforcement. I don't know why you guys are making excuses for them saying, yeah, most of them are good. Most of them are good. There's only a few that are bad and racist. Well, guess what? Those few that are bad and racist are killing black men.
Okay. See, throw it back. Start a riot. See, throw it back. Start a riot. See, throw it back. Start a riot. I call that a fucking kickback.
The Minneapolis police system was quicker to arrest Omar Jimenez, detain him, release him, and publicly apologize for arresting him than they were to convict someone that has been literally caught on camera murdering someone. Rather than charge him, they set up a police border around his house. He has since left Minneapolis and is currently residing in Florida. They let someone who was caught on camera killing someone go to another state, leave the state. And the prosecutor per state, so the guy that's meant to essentially find the convictions and charge him, has said that he doesn't want to rush it. He has the man murdering him on camera and he doesn't want to rush evidence, and has actually come forward and said there's actual evidence to prove that he was legally killed. I understand the need to be careful in this case, but where was this shown for other people? African American men and women are 7 times more likely than their white counterparts to be wrongfully convicted of murder. Where was the need to be careful then? Where was the need to be careful when his knee was on George's neck?
I'm going to break the math down a little bit slower for anybody who didn't get it. Here's why black people are disproportionately affected by police shootings. Today we're going to be using 2018 statistics because they're the most easily accessible since 2019 was just last year. As you can see, there are 1,148 total shootings that were fatal. 37% were white, 23% were black. Of them, 14% of the white men were unarmed, and 21% of the black men were unarmed. Already we notice that there are more unarmed black men than there are unarmed white men. So 37% of this number here is 425. That's the total number of white people shot. You plug that in here, and you take the percent of unarmed men shot, and you get 60. You do the same thing with black men, and you get 55. If you look at the US population size, white people outnumber black people 5.5 to 1. Despite being a bigger part of the population, unarmed white people.
But remember, all lives matter, and this is a free country where you can say whatever you want. Fucking shit.
We pledge allegiance to your flag of the United States of America and to your republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for who? For you? For some? Not for us, not for our people, so please stop saying we equal with your flag of red, white, and blue in one hand. You beat us, until we're black and blue with the other beat us, until we're none beat us, until we can't walk straight, then you put us in chains if we lucky.
Okay, I just got home and a police officer came up to me while I was visiting my father figure's lock at the bridge he jumped off of. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Is everything all right?" And I said, "Yes." And he asked me something. I go, "Huh?" And he sighs, like, dramatically. And he goes, "Am I going to have to repeat myself every sentence?" And I go, "I'm sorry. I have hard hearing." And he goes, "Okay." I go up there and he goes, "Where do you live?" And I go, "Just down there." And he goes, "Okay, I'm going to need to search you." And I go, "Why are you going to need to search me?" And he goes, "Okay, what's your name?" And I go, "My name's Blake." And he goes, "Are you a boy?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Why are you wearing a skirt, son?" And I go, I'm not sure." And then he goes, "Well, there are some weirdos out there that if they see you wearing a skirt, they're gonna think you're a girl and they're gonna try to hurt you." Okay.
So I've never liked cops because I'd always be doing illegal shit and I knew that cops could take you to jail, and I've been to jail and I did not want to go back. But what I didn't understand at the time, I was 14, okay, is that when me and my friends would go smoke, my friends would give me the stuff on the way back. And I had a very diverse group of friends, okay? I was like the only white girl. And I didn't understand why they would do that. I was like, they're gonna search all of us, bitch. But then one day we got stopped by the cops and they didn't search all of us. They searched all my friends but not me. And I realized that their dislike of cops was not the same as mine because I feared going to jail. They feared losing their life. And I realized that my white skin was like a shield to protect me from cops. They didn't have this shield. And what makes me really fucking mad is that white people won't even accept that their skin is like a shield. They won't even acknowledge it. And what makes me the most fucking mad is that it's not my skin that's the shield, it's the fucking color. When it should be the skin. The skin means life. The color does not mean life.
Y'all gonna hate me this summer, but the blacker I get, the angrier I am. And the angrier I am, the more you white people will hear about it. So go ahead and follow.
What is the definition here of privilege? A special right that's granted.
George Floyd was murdered and the cop is only getting a third-degree charge. A black woman in Toronto fell from a balcony the other day while she was supposed to be getting support from police. The President of the United States tweeted, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." Some people are more worried about a target being burnt down than people dying. Black children are treated as if they're adults. Undercover cops are starting riots and it's being blamed on the black folk of Minneapolis. Black people are going missing, getting trafficked, getting killed, and people with mental illnesses are being demonized and shot. These cops are trained, they know what each move does. He couldn't breathe. And not to take away from that situation, but Indigenous folk in America, Canada, and Australia, which is my context, face very similar things. You can't ignore racism anymore. I am so exhausted, I am so tired, but if you are not angry, you are not paying attention.
Sucking 12, ACAB, 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 sucking 12, ACAB. Wipe my ass with the flag. I'm just playing, baby, this the land of the free. Where you can get a Glock in the gram for the cheap. Where you can live your dreams long as you don't look like me. Be a puppet on a string hanging from a fucking tree.
Are they still starting to line up? They're probably gonna shoot soon. Yeah, they're gonna shoot soon. Mercy, let's go. I can't breathe! Alright, now open here. Just open your eyes a little bit. I know it's coming in. Fuck.
Go.
No, it's okay. Fuck the police! 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 Fuck the police!
Okay, this is great. This is a great question. Okay, so police tend to have the same shoes as undercover police. The reason for this is because it has metal insoles and metal inserts, so if someone were to find out they're an agent protector, they could break their foot, so they have something to protect it.
Fuck the police! 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 Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck the police! Fuck you! Fuck killer! Fuck
you! This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up. Police be tripping up. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. My area?